might be online, so we can just
So these two real quick. Okay.
wait for them. Are we recording?
Yes.
Is we gotta see if anybody's online too, right?
There was nobody online.
There was nobody online?
Not yet.
Okay.
Can check again.
So we can move on.
Nobody that was
Do that up as a ask if nobody's online.
Absolutely. We're gonna ask for public input, but it won't be for you all because you're here for your individual claims. So when we do that, if nobody's here, we'll just move forward and then go from there, okay? Just to give you some clarity. Welcome.
Diana, no microphone.
And
Diana says 8 Road. And Michael Page. Pothole.
okay. Well, we'll both. Yeah, you know. So what we can do is we can probably move up. Well, Mr. Niles will be right up anyways, and then we can go to Mr.
I just so they can. I'm gonna have to open.
Okay, I unmuted both of them so that they have the opportunity.
Yeah.
To speak.
Right. We're green, so we're good, right?
Okay.
Great. So are we ready to start?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So no.
Can you give me 1 second?
Oh, yeah.
Somebody, another coming up.
Okay.
We can still start, right?
Yeah.
All right. I'd like to call the order the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits tonight, which is April 8th at 5:20 p.m. Clerk, could you please take a roll?
Councilor Rubio. Councilor Rujo.
Yeah.
Councilor Moreno.
Here.
We have 2 members present and we have a quorum.
All right. Is there anybody signed in for public input or online?
So we have 2 claimants that have joined us online. And so Michael Pate, I know you're there. We'll take up your claim. We'll call on you at that time. And there's a Diana that's joined us online. Diana, can you state your last name for us?
Farino.
Farino. Thank you, Diana.
Thank
All
you.
right, we'll get to you in just a moment, okay?
Okay. So at this point, since we have 2 claimants here in person, I'd like to move those up if that's okay. So we're gonna skip item number 2 for now. And Council Marino, would you take item number 3?
Yes. Item number 3 is a property damage claim. It is from Frederick Isles. And it is in the amounts of $1,789.82 and $2,671.83 hence I move that we take the
All right, it's been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Council Rujo, that we take the claim of Frederick Niles for property damage. And he got 2 amounts of, one of them is $1,789.72, and the other is $2,671.83. All in favor to take it up?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? All right. So we have the claimant here, and we also have our city solicitor Milos and Public Works Director Crawley here. So Mr. Niles, can you explain your claim?
Absolutely. Did you guys receive the photos also?
I did.
Yes.
Yep, we did.
Okay. The snowplow came. We had a lot of snow over the snowstorm. They pushed the snow up against my fence. I didn't realize it till a day later when I got a phone call from my wife. Told me I came home. I shot a video. Actually, you guys don't have the video. I have the video. I have 2 videos. I have the same photo that you guys all have. I'm sure you guys seen it. The fence wasn't like that before the plow when a snowstorm happened, and that's what happened. You guys pushed it up against it. Actually, I have a picture I took today of the sidewalk that was chipped, that happened from the plow also.
Okay, Council Miles and Director Crowley, you wanna speak to this?
Yes, that he's correct that because of the intersection there, with the amount of snow, we had to push it off the street and it was piled a little too close to his fence and was damaged from the snow being put up there.
Council Miles?
No, unless, Chris, the question I would have is, do we know, was this, pending or one of ours?
Not sure, but most likely was one of our vendors that we hired during the storm. That's a good question. Not sure if they fall through us or insurance.
This kid, did you have this, something like this? actually?
Oh, no, we did have, they submitted their.
That would be my only thing. I mean, I don't think there's any question what happened. What it really comes down to is who's culpable. Our plows, we own. Say absolutely, it's our claim to accept. If it was an independent contractor, we hire these people, do a job, you require them to have insurance if something like this happens. You don't really have dominion and control over the guys who are operating their own vehicles. That's the legality.
So if we say
Again, not denying what happened,
Right.
not denying that there was damage to his fence. The estimates speak for themselves. It's gonna cost him at least $1,700, if not $2,600 to repair damage, but this is really no different than any other independent contractor that we hire to do a service for us. They create a defect and somebody sustains property damage or, God forbid, personal injury. As a result of that, we look at them and their insurance if they were the ones that actually caused the damage. We do it all the time.
so if then would it be something that we would have to look into to see now before we act on this claim to see if it was one of our drivers or an independent one? Or is it something that we would say we took action on it and it was in favor of the claimant? Would that be something then that we would, as a city, go after them, similar to what we see in other claims where an insurance company?
You say go after,
Well,
if this is one of our independent contractors, he or she is supposed to have insurance to
Right.
cover this eventuality.
right,
That's the whole point. I mean, I can't imagine.
This was for Nago and the answer, yes, they submitted their insurance policy.
I mean, honestly,
Prior to,
hindsight-
this was last minute, but I had all their paperwork. It's not a regular vendor for Snowna, as you're aware. We brought them in as emergency basis and they did have their insurance, so I have that all on file. It was Bernardo, so if you're referring to it, would be referred to Bernardo for the claim. Like we do with ground engine ones or paving. I'm guessing that's what you're.
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand that it's a little bit different in terms of the facts and the circumstances, but if we have somebody who digs a hole in the ground because they're doing a utility cut or they're doing paving. Yeah, there are roads, there are sidewalks, but at the end of the day, if we're not the one cutting, we're not the one leaving it in the state that it's in, that ultimately results in taxpayer, could be me driving down the street. I know that I would need to go to that particular driver's or the owner of that vehicle's insurance. Yeah, again, if it's a city-owned vehicle, a city employee, then we don't have this debate or question. We take care of it either under the trust policy or in this case, because it's under deductible, just take care of it ourselves. We're basically self-insured on it.
under 25, right? Yes. Did you have anything?
No.
So if we denied and referred to Venag, you sure it was Venago that did that area? And then we would give then a claimant all the information for Venagro to file that
It
claim.
usually comes from the, I believe, city clerks, just like.
We
when
put it in a letter. I get the
Like,
info
yeah.
from you.
But again, I don't want the gentleman to have to run around crazy.
Me
either. I think
neither.
We should give him a clear path. And
Yeah.
quite honestly, Chris, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
this is not a knock on Public Works.
Yeah.
That should have been.
Correct, yes.
They usually do a pretty good job, and they
Yeah.
did, but in this case, they absolutely should have put that in the
Right.
inspection report.
So is it, at this point with the snow obviously melting, is it too late to do a field inspection report now? Or do you have somebody come out? Has the fence been fixed?
No,
Is that something that would be a course of action to take?
Well, the field inspection report's already been done. I'm just suggesting that it shouldn't take the claims committee for us to figure out that it was an independent contractor that actually physically.
I see what you're saying. So maybe it shouldn't have risen up to here?
Well, no, I mean, look, the claim would be filed, but we could have let the gentleman know, like, 3 weeks ago, whenever he filed the claim, that more likely than not, this is where we would end up going on
Okay,
it, That is where you hear the claims committee finding out for the first time that it
Right.
was an independent contractor as opposed to.
right, right. And that's the caveat. If it was one of ours, we would be culpable, but since it's a hired contractor, they'd be culpable for the damage. And if we ended up saying deny it and referring to Venagro, you could get all the information from the clerk's office to file a claim with them and
why do I have to chase them? If you guys hired the guy, it's not my fault the fence got done. It's more your guys' fault. You guys hired the
But
guy.
he's not our guy.
But you guys were,
That's why we have insurance.
so I shouldn't have to go for Benagro or whoever did it. I shouldn't have to go see them for anything. I think you guys should pay me and you guys should chase them for the money.
I mean, that's up to you folks. That's not what we
That's
do.
right. That's what's right.
that's-
That's the right thing to do.
Well, again, if we're gonna do that here, then we should do that everywhere.
it's been,
If that's gonna be a change in policy, which we could do, it'll be a change 35 years that I've been here, policy.
Right.
I defer to the committee. You asked me a question legally.
Mhm.
You do not like my answer, but that's my answer. Because that's what we do.
Yep.
You want to change that? Committee, I'm not. Do whatever you feel is just appropriate under the circumstances. I've said my.
What's your name, sir?
Frank Milos, MIL. City solicitor. And the state, that's my job.
yeah. You good?
That's it.
Okay, all right, so we hear all the facts, and it is true, I understand where you're coming from, Mr. Niles, but I do know that, like, there's a number of seems like every claims committee, there's something that comes up that a claim will come up and it'll point, originally to the city, and we find that we're not the culpable folks, and then therefore, we do end up going to, who is really deemed legally culpable for it, so, but we'll see. So go ahead.
All right, so at this time, I would like to move to refer the claim to bro,
Is it Venagro? Is it just, what's the name of the company specifically?
Yeah, it's, look at this act, it's I think it's Renagro.
All right,
It's the same, that's our paving
Venagro,
construction.
Construction, okay. All right, so it's been moved by Counselor Marino, seconded by Counselor Rujo that Mr. Niles' claim be denied and referred to Venagro Construction. Any other discussion on this matter?
no,
Ridiculous. That's ridiculous. That's for the record. That I said, I think that's ridiculous. I'd like to have all the information on Benagro, whoever it was. I'd like that emailed to me and I'd like it sent to my address, which is 137 Beverage Hill Avenue, Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
It will be. It will
We'll take
be.
care of that from the-
We do that. It will be done.
Shit.
Okay,
all right.
clerk, take a roll.
Counselor Rujo?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yeah.
2 in favor and none opposed.
So you'll have all that information will be forwarded to you, sir.
How long does that take?
Set tomorrow.
You
Well,
want my email also? Niles_Fred@yahoo.com.
I have that.
yeah, we have it here. It's on the claim.
So it's denied?
And we're referring it. we're gonna refer you to Venago to get your compensation for the damage.
You
Okay,
guys work at government speed too, right?
it'll be sent out tomorrow, sir.
I'd like a written denial also.
The letter will go out tomorrow,
Okay.
but I'll send you an email with the information.
Okay,
We're good?
yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, at this point, if it's okay, I would like to move up the claim, in item number 6 for,
Yes,
is it Keely? Keely Taylor? So would you like to take that?
absolutely. Next up is Healy Taylor in the amount of $294.94. It is for a pothole. I move that we take her item up.
All right, been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Council Rujo, that we take up the claim of Keely Tyler in the amount of $294.94 for a flat tire by a pothole. Okay, Ms. Taylor, did you want to explain? We got it here, but it's always good you're here. Explain.
It was Friday, March 6th. I was coming home from dinner. It was probably after 10 o'clock, and I hit a pothole on Columbus Ave right before my street Memorial. So I was already slowing down, but I hit it, and it was one of those potholes that shakes your skeleton. And then I was able to get my car, because I was so close to home, I was able to get my car in the driveway. And it was flat. So I had to get a replacement.
Okay. You have anything on it?
Oh, I just, in the claim here, that it came in on time. And according to the, field inspection, it hours. So,
Yeah, and at this point, obviously the timeline says that our pothole was filled on the 9th, which is after the 6th. And this was a terrible storm. We had 2 big storms, and so our roads took a beating. So, but yep, I see. Chris, you're good?
Yes.
Okay.
all right. So I would like to move to approve in the amount of $294.90 for Alice.
All right, so it's been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we approve the pothole claim for Kylie Taylor in the amount of $294.94. Any further discussion? Clerk, could you please take a roll?
Counselor Russo?
Yes,
Counselor Marino?
Yes.
2-0.
your claim has been approved, and
Information.
Yes, I'll send you out a letter with the next step.
right, thank you for coming tonight.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, and who are you, ma'am? Laurie Schmidt. Okay, so if I may, again, clerk, we're gonna skip to item number 4. Is that okay? All right, so
So next up is Miss Lori Sharisa in the amount of $232.62 for a pothole. I move that we take the claim up.
the move by Councilor Marino, seconded by Councilor Arujo, that we take up the claim of Laurie Shariza of $232.62 for a pothole. Motion is to take up. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So let's see. This here, Director Crowley, would you like to speak to this a little bit?
Yeah, the location that was forwarded to us. Is not in the city of Pawtucket, is actually in Providence. So we would prefer that plan to be forwarded to the city of Providence.
Okay.
This is a pothole.
All right, so this actually went over the city border, and it it occurred on Smithfield. Is it Smithfield Avenue? Yes. But it was over the city line. So I know, is Providence the same as us with the 7-day rule?
So I asked if it was a pothole, so may I call you Lori?
Yes.
So Lori, when we file your claim with Providence, because we don't have culpability to over a defect that's in another jurisdiction, they probably have the same thing that we have. I don't know that for a fact, but typically most cities have an ordinance that says you have to file within 7 days. I would make sure that you let them know or that defect was in the city. Filed your claim timely with the city of Pawtucket and would have done the same in Providence if you knew that the pothole was actually. That makes sense?
Yes, would I be able to get the letter saying that?
Yeah.
I can have.
Absolutely. We'll send you out a letter and I'll send you a copy of the claim. I do think it's past the 7 days though,
What's that?
with us.
Was it even, well, with.
I can't even read that date.
So I went to the next page and
Yes.
it looks like it was the 10th that
Can
I filed it.
Can I say something?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
So, I originally filed this and I was told just by my brother just to file with the state. So I originally filed this with the state. I didn't get a response until 7 days later. And then, I did that. I also sent an email from that I filed with the state.
You did.
Yes.
We see that.
Oh,
I did do it immediately when it happened, but. And it's like I.
So, Chris, not to confuse things more, but it's Smithfield Avenue. And that's Route 126. So is that? I mean, that's a state road.
Smithfield Avenue, Pawtucket is, I don't know.
You're not sure if
I'm
they
not,
have a construction maintenance agreement over there.
I don't know. I just know 100% Smithfield is under the state part, but I don't know. You know, like Central Avenue, Pawtucket, it shifts.
But you
back
did
and forth.
file paperwork with them being the state within
Yeah.
7 days?
And they said that this was a city road, it was not a state road, and I just initially assumed because their code is Pawtucket, that
Yeah.
it would be Pawtucket.
It may very well be, they have a construction maintenance agreement. Do work. Okay.
No, not Smithfield Avenue.
So I would file with Providence. Anyway, you're covered by having filed with the state, but as opposed to saying what I said before, change it only to the fact that you filed timely with the state. That's what I would say, not Pawtucket, because that's not gonna help you.
Okay,
That might hurt you. So, does that make sense?
yes.
I mean, yeah, because we want to make sure, I feel bad that you already filed with the state, now you're filing with us and not trying to,
It gets confusing
Yeah.
sometimes on these state roads, because generally speaking, if it's got a state route on it, like Smithfield, Smithfield Avenue is Route 126, it's a state road. But some communities, depending on portion of the road, they actually accept doing an agreement with the state that will take care of paving and monitoring and doing things. In Pawtucket, on Smithfield Avenue, we don't. It sounds like the state is telling you that in Providence they do. Because if not, then they should have just paid your claim or at least given with determination if necessary.
No, okay,
Okay,
all right,
sorry for the confusion.
no problem.
and sorry for the delay because it seems like you're going through a lot of hurdles with
Yeah.
this, but we want to give you the right information so you can actually, you got a legitimate claim. Go with the folks that are culpable for it,
Okay,
okay?
thank you so much.
We'll get that out to you right away.
Oh, thank you so
Okay.
much.
No problem.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Okay, so I move to deny and refer the claim to the city of Providence.
And it's been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we deny and refer to the city of Providence, the claim of Laurie Teresa for $232.62 for a pothole. Do I need a roll call? Yeah, a roll call?
Councilor Ruzo?
Yes,
Councilor Moreno?
Yeah.
yes.
2-0.
Okay, great. So let's go back now to the item number 2.
Diane and
Oh, Diane,
Michael,
oh, that's right, there, yeah. All right, let's do that. All right. So I'm sorry to keep jumping around. Is that okay to be doing that? All right. So let's take on number 5 with Diana.
yes, absolutely. Next up is a auto claim from Diana Arino in the amount of $414.45. I move that we take the claim up.
Been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Council Lujo, that we take up the claim of Diana Farino in the amount of $414.45 for a pothole. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So Councilor Milos, knowing that this is, and Director Crowley, this is on Newport Avenue, correct? Okay. Miss Farino, would you like to speak on your claim?
Sure. Yeah, so I was driving on Newport Ave, towards Attleboro, north, when my vehicle struck a pothole. It was not avoidable. In the moment, it just wasn't safe and for me to swerve out of the way. So I had hit it, and the impact immediately caused my car to shake. So I made it home. I drove straight home. I had my kids with me, so I didn't want to drive around with that shaking. I didn't, know it could happen. So I brought it to the mechanic a couple days later. And um, I think that's pretty much it. The
Okay.
mechanic confirmed that the damages were consistent with hitting the pothole. I mean, it was pretty obvious. As soon as I hit it, it started shaking. So, I believe, all the information is there with my mechanics,
Yes. Yes, we
information
do
as
see that.
well. Yep. Mhm.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate you speaking of this, and yeah, we've had a lot of potholes because of the recent storms. The dilemma, the problem that we well, Council Miles could explain it better. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I mean, according to the field inspection report, and I think we all understand, Pawtucket does not maintain Newport Avenue. It
Correct.
clearly runs through the city of Pawtucket, state road. We don't have any jurisdiction over Newport Avenue. We have no construction maintenance agreements with the state regarding Newport Avenue. So unfortunately, the claim really needs to be filed, or should have been filed, with the state.
Okay.
Now, Michelle, do we know when this claim will?
Looks like
with us?
March
Was
next.
it in the 7 days?
Yes.
Yes, it was.
So the good news for Ms. Farino is that she at least filed it with Pawtucket within the 7 days. Hopefully, that would be good enough for the state to understand that she just went to the wrong body office. And hopefully they'll have to retain her claim as being timely. She filed with us within the 7 days, and Michelle can send her something that states that, if that's helpful.
Right. And state is still a 300 cap on that, right?
I believe, yes, because
We
that's
follow
when
it.
we got the notion
Yeah.
25 years ago to get the law in place, or 30 years ago at this point. Definitely a state statute that says that.
So Ms. Farino, like Council Miles was saying, this is a state road, so they're culpable for maintaining the potholes there. So if we usually in a case like this will deny and refer you to the Rhode Island Department of Transportation to file your claim. But as Council Miles said, you have 7 days to file that claim. You did it with the city. So if that is the road that we go down, clerk will send you all the info, including the date that you were within the 7 days, and you can file your claim with the Rhode Island Department of Transportation. File it for the $414.45, but know there is a state cap of 300 that you would, if it's approved, that you would receive. It's just that that's what we have in the in Rhode Island general laws, I believe. So just so you know and you're aware, okay?
Okay, yeah, and I actually did even call the police station right when it happened, and they had suggested for me to go to Pawtucket City Hall, which is what I did. But I guess it's good to know that.
Yeah, so when you have a lot of state roads, Newport Avenue is Route 1, right? Or Route 1A, right? One of them,
Yeah,
right?
one A.
1A. And so it's a state road. So, when they're paving, when they're doing stuff on that road, it's the Rhode Island takes care of that. And we take care of all the streets that are not a state road. And, it's hard to, some of them I think are state roads, they're not, and vice versa. So it's hard for people to know. So I'm sorry for the delay in you going through the city. But definitely, go through the Rhode Island Department of Transportation with this claim, if that's the course of action that we do, okay?
Okay, thanks. And should I be receiving an email from them or am I reaching out?
Go ahead, Clerk.
So typically we send a letter out, but we want to make sure you get in touch with them right away. So I'll send you an email tomorrow.
Okay, thank
Is the
you.
email on a claim?
Yes.
Okay, great.
And,
Okay,
and we'll follow up with the letter. Okay?
right, thank you.
All right, so at this time, I would like to move to I the claim and refer it to the Rhode Island Department of Transportation.
So it's been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Councilman Arujo, that we deny and refer to the Department of Transportation the claim of Diana Farino for a pothole of $414.45. Clerk, take a vote, please.
Counselor Rujo?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
2-0.
All right, thank you, Ms. Farino, appreciate it. All right, and the next one would be Michael Pate. So we're gonna go to number 6, Michael Pate.
So next up is a claim for Michael Pate in the amount of $939, and it is for a pothole. I move we take this claim up.
It's been moved by Council Marino, seconded by Council Arujo, that we take up the claim of Michael Pate for a pothole in the amount of $939. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, this should go with Mr. Crowley. Do you want to speak to this?
Yes, this is the city main street. It was a pothole there and we filled it on March 6, 2026 with.
Okay, great. And this claim, this happened on March. All right, Mr. Pate, would you like to speak to this?
Yeah, hello.
Yeah, how you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
So that night I'm not sure if I was going to Wendy's or TD Bank, but somewhere in that area, and then I was heading northbound down George Bennett towards Attleboro, and right about in front of the entrance on the right towards where Duncan is, there was an unavoidable pothole that also, like, it was 2 days after the big snowstorm, and it was raining out, and it was like all glossy black, so you couldn't even see it. It was all filled in, and it was right in the direct line of the road.
Right,
It caused
understood.
both front right tires to pop, and then it ruined my front right rim.
Yeah, all right. Thank you for explaining what happened that night. We see it on the report as well. Now, do you have anything, Councilman? So there was a pothole there. We do have a limit of 300 that we can pay out on these claims. So if we do approve, that would probably be the amount that we would approve, because that is the limit that that we do approve on claims like this. Okay.
Okay.
So do you have any?
All right, so at this time, I would like to move to approve the claim in the amount of $300.
So it's been moved by Councilor Moreno, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we approve the claim of Michael Pate in the full amount, in the amount of the max, which is $300. Any other discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Rujo?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
2-0.
All right, so the clerk's office will be in touch, right? Correct? With you, Mr. Pate, to get you over that $300, okay?
All right, thank you guys a lot.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Okay, so now we can go to item number 2.
Yes, item number 2 was a claim that was recommitted back to the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits for reconsideration. It is from Janine Smith in the amount of $144.87. It is for a tow. I move we take the item up.
It's been moved by Councilor Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo. We take up the claim of Janine Smith in the amount of $144.87 regarding a tow. All in favor?
Aye.
Is the claimant online? Okay, my understanding is, yeah, I thought she was going to be. Okay, we had lengthy conversations on this one before. Council Milos, you see anything different?
I have nothing more to add.
Yeah.
What I did last time, I think we spent a good 20.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think, and obviously, we can hash it if you wanted to, but I think at the end of the day, we did speak at length about the time that the car was there and how the city needed to clear the lot, and moving forward, maybe doing some signage, differently. But at that point, yeah, there's really nothing different on my end. What about you, Councilor
I
Marino?
don't have anything at all. So I would like to move to. And then, I claim.
It's been moved by Councilor Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we deny the claim of Janine Smith, for a tow of $144.87. Any further discussion? Clerk, could you please take a roll call?
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
2-0.
All right.
Item 4.
Yes. Next up is a vehicle claim from Suzanne Hoyle in the amount of $477.58. It is for vehicle damage. I move that we take this claim up.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilor Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we take up the claim of Suzanne Hoyle, for vehicle damage of $477.58. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Chair, if I may.
Yes, please.
I see that we came out and we checked it out, and it seemed as if the area that the claimant is referring to is actually in the city of Central Falls.
Okay.
So I don't have anything else.
You concur with that?
That's correct.
Okay.
All right. So at this time, I would like to deny the claim and refer it to the city of Central Falls.
All right, it's been moved by Councilor Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we deny and refer to Central Falls the claim of Susan Hoyle in the amount of $477.58 for vehicle damage. Any further discussion? What? Please?
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
2-0.
All right. Next up is a auto claim. It is from Patricia Paros. It is in the amount of $1,507.51. And so I move that we take the claim up.
It's been moved by Councilor Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we take up the claim of Patricia Barros in the amount of $1,507.51 for a pothole. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, so this is similar to the one we speak to Ms. Farino about. This is Newport Avenue, so it's a state road, correct? So normally what we do is we refer this, we'll deny and refer to Rhode Island Department of Transportation so the claimant can follow up with them. Okay?
Do you want to take them all together, the state roads?
Actually,
Yes, that would be.
all right,
Awesome.
so why don't we do that? All right, so can you continue on with Howard Vasquez?
Yeah. And then next up is a claim of Howard James
sickness going around. A lot of deaths too. I had a friend of mine's father. Sickness.
Go to just if I don't. I spoke to take it up.
I'm not sure. We're good? Okay. All right. So now we're reconvening. Okay. So it's been motioned by Counselor Marino, seconded by Counselor Arujo, that item number 5, we take up the claims of Howard James Baskin for $269 for a pothole, $269, for Ernest Azaya for $453.92 for a pothole, and Richard Grady, 100, we already did her. Oh, we didn't vote, that's one. Richard Grady of $198.38 for a pothole, and the original motion of Patricia Barros for $1,507.51 for a pothole. These motion is to take up, right? All right, so we're taking up all these. These were all on state roads, correct?
That is correct.
So we figured we would, all these claimants, they need to file with the Rhode Island Department of Transportation, do that, they're being state roads, okay? All right, so I'll take the motion.
All right, so at this time, I would like to move to deny these claims and refer it to the Rhode Island Department of Transportation.
So it's been moved by Councilman, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we deny and refer the to the Rhode Island Department of Transportation for the claims of Patricia Barros for $1,571.51, Howard James Baskins for $269, Ernest Azaya for $453.92, and Richard Grady for $198.38. Any further discussion? Clerk, could you please take a roll?
Counselor Abujo?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
2 in favor and none opposed.
Okay. So now item number 6.
All right, first up is a claim. It is from it is from Juan Allard. It is in the amount of $400, and it is for a odd hole. I move that we take the claim up.
It's been moved by Councilor Marino, second by Councilor Rujo. We take up the claim of Wendy M. Allard for a pothole damage in the amount of $400. All in favor? Aye. So it looks like this was a pothole. The claim, the date of the occurrence was 3/11. The pothole was filled on 3/11. So do you believe, Mr. Crowley, that this happened after the incident?
No, it had to be prior, so, we were out, we just happened to be out patching that day, so.
So you think that the incident happened prior to us filling? Okay,
All right, so at this,
Vote, can I make a suggestion?
sure.
yeah,
So I've read through every one of these claims. I assume Chris has. I don't think, with the exception of one that I think was filed out of time, it appears to me that every single one of these claims, other than the one, and Michelle, which one was it that was out of town?
That was,
Rachel.
Yes, Rachel has the
Yeah.
notes filed after 7 days.
Okay, so with the exception of that, it seems to me nothing is culpable. Every one of the other claims that we haven't addressed yet, as Chris disagrees with them. Suggestion would be that committee of these, we just simply with one motion vote to approve those claims. Wendy, obviously, Jody, Joanna would be at the cap 3. So, do you recommend we do that as opposed to going through every single one of these?
Yes, but I would say we separate out the 300.
Yeah.
300s, then the 7-day out of time, then the remaining 1 or 2, that would be for the amount claimed.
So then I can read to approve all of that,
With the exception of,
in the total, I'll read all that.
yeah, so you would go, yeah.
All right,
So it would be 300,
Yeah.
173.
So basically, Wendy, Jody, Rachel would be at the $300 cap. Patrick would be for the.
Not Rachel.
I'm sorry, not Rachel, I'm sorry. Wendy, Jody would be for the 300.
And Joanna.
Joanna would be for the 300. Patrick would be for the amount claimed. Maria would be for the amount claimed, correct? Rachel unfortunately denied. So it was out of time. You're saying substantively, I don't really see any issues. Any of them per se, we just can't approve Rachel's because of the 70.
Okay, so,
She does have a note that she reached out to DOT, that Rachel.
yeah,
Take her up after though.
we can take her up separately. We'll talk about it, okay?
All right. So at this time, I would like to move to approve the claims of one Allard in the amount of $300. Jody Cariulo in the amount of $300. Patrick Kapsner in the amount of $173.25. Maria Oliva in the amount of $267.05. And Johanna Adahaje in the amount of $300.
Okay, it's been moved by Council Marino, second by Council Rujo, that we approve the pothole claim of Wendy Allard for $300, the pothole claim of Jody Carulo for $300, the pothole claim of Patrick Kastner for $173.25, the pothole claim of Maria Sokovala for $267.05, and the claim of Joanna Tatahe for $300. Any further discussion? Clerk, please take a roll.
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Council Moreno?
Yes.
2 in favor, none opposed.
All right. And then. Ooh. Ask the up is a name of Ray of Ray Rachel Oda. It is in the amount of $590.29. And so I move to take the claim up.
We'll move by Council Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we take up the claim of Rachel De Mota for $590.29 for a pothole. All in favor? Aye. Councilor Milos?
So referring to this one, I understand that there's a note. It sounds like she may have filed her claim with Rhode Island DOT. Question that I can't answer is, did she file with DOT within the 7 days? If she did.
No.
Did she
She
say
has
that?
an email March 13th.
Was that a email she received or email she sent?
That was the day the claim came into the pocket.
She got a automatic reply that the claim was filed on March 7th.
And the
On
actual
March
claim,
13th, it came back where they
Yeah.
sent her an email saying it's not a state road and made their determination, but it was March 7th.
So that was 9 days.
Out of time with the state.
Yes. It's out of time.
Okay.
Okay.
so my whole motion is to, and I.
Motion by Council Marino, seconded by Councilor Rujo, that we deny the claim of Rachel De Mota for pothole $590.29. Any discussion? Clerk, please take a roll.
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Council Moreno?
Yes.
2 in favor, none opposed.
Motion to adjourn.
Second. All in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.
All right, the ordinance committee is in session. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Moran,
Here.
Counselor Cordia, Counselor Gregor, President Mercer.
Here.
So we have 2 members present and we have a quorum.
Anybody for public input at all? No. All right.
In that case, Chairman, I'd move that a communication from YPR Properties LLC by attorneys John Sakarchi Esquire and Jake V. D'Amico Esquire to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council regarding a petition to rezone land located at 264 Weldon Street, Assessors Plat 45A, Lot 455, be filed.
Motion made by Council President Mercer, seconded by myself, that a communication from YPR Properties LLC by attorney John Sakachi Esquire and Jake D'Amico Esquire, the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, petition to rezone land located at 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45A, Lot 455, be filed. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Do the same for item 3, ask to file communication from Pawtucket Planning Department, the honorable members of Pawtucket City Council submitting the Planning Commission's recommendation of approval regarding the amendment of the zoning ordinance for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45A, Lot 455, changing from residential multifamily RM to the Conan Thread CT zone. I move that communication be filed.
Motion made by Council President Mercer, seconded by myself, that a communication from Pawtucket Planning Department to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council submitting the Planning Commission's recommendation of approval regarding the amendment to the zoning ordinance for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45A, Lot 455, changing from residential multifamily to Conan Thread zone, be filed. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Finally, item 4 is an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket 1996 entitled zoning, change an official zoning map for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45. Is it 45A or 45? Each of the other things was first as 45A. Does it matter?
It doesn't matter.
45 lot 455 from residential multifamily to the Conan Thread District. I move we take up the ordinance.
Motion made by Council President Mercer, seconded by myself, that we take up for discussion an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket 1996 entitled zoning, change an official zoning map for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45, Lot 455, from residential multifamily to Conant Thread District. Motion to take up for discussion. Director, did you want to take the lead on this, or is that Frank, or?
I'm aware, Councilman, if there's any questions on
Okay.
the request, it's fairly straightforward. Adjacent lot to that Conan Thread District to continue that zone for a multifamily project and use the same zoning as the rest of that development district.
Right, and I guess the planning commission approved it, correct?
Planning Commission gave it a positive recommendation. There is not an approved or even a submitted application for this lot. I think that they wanted to do the zoning first, and then they'll come back at a later date to exercise that.
And the maps, I was looking at the maps, it's right on the edge, right? It's right
Yeah.
there. It's right there, so.
You come up Barton, you cross over Conan, and it becomes Whedon, and it's right there on the left.
Yes, right over there. Yeah.
Okay, so I actually do have just a couple of questions on it. So I know there's no submitted plan, but what is the ultimate plan? And why is it necessary for that plan to be in the Conan Thread rather than residential?
So Attorney Jake D'Amico, on behalf of the applicant, YPR Properties. As you said, at this time, we don't really have a specific plan. The goal is just, we see how the thread is favorable and there's a lot of opportunity in that zone, and being so close, we figured it'd be a good opportunity to try to get it rezoned and take advantage of the district's new position. So that's really where we're at this point. There's no plan, whether it's you, it's what the owner is here as well, the LLC, whether he will develop the property himself or potentially try to find a developer down the line who could develop the property. It just seems like it's a more favorable district.
So I guess my question is just that, what is favorable about being in the Conan Thread versus current situation? What do you find more favorable that would lend itself to
different uses?
Just the ability to, get as many, to get some residential uses in here, potentially a mixed use where you can use some commercial use as well as residential use. That kind of flexibility in the CT district is kind of what we see as, opening the door to, you know, whether he develops it or, you know, a potential buyer of the lot develops it, kind of just creates a little flexibility.
You can see how it gives us pause to not know, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And
Yes.
it's not my district, but I know when we've entertained things in the Cone and Thread district in the last probably 8 years or so.
Yeah.
There's a concern about overdevelopment, there's a concern about parking. I know, Councilor Wildenhain actually brought this up to me a while back about, parking restrictions and the lack of parking restrictions relative to residential units in the Cone and Thread. You know, we're not talking about on the back of Barton Street on Conant Street where the cobblestones are. We're talking about Whedon Street, pretty heavily traveled. There's no parking on Whedon Street. So is there a, depending on mixed use, I mean, we welcome the development of that district, right? So that's why we created the Conant Thread district. But we stopped it where we stopped it, right? And now expanding it, we need to have a good comfort level that it's going to be utilized within the thoughts that we anticipated at the outset. So feel free. I'm just throwing this out there, what our concerns would be, so.
No, and I appreciate that perspective. But just so you have an idea, it's kind of as the owner, you're calling a catch-22 situation. So if you can imagine on the backside of engineering, et cetera, when I approach them, they're gonna ask the same thing. Yeah, so what exactly are we gonna build here? Well, we need to know what it's zoned first, right? Just because.
Let me cut you off. Fortunately, what we're gonna be proposing is gonna have to come for the city in whatever's permissible in the CT zone. So the city will have another chance to see whatever is gonna be proposed and to make sure that it, you know, complies with the district as well as meets whatever is required.
And I think, like President Mercer says, it just, and I've had some discussions with the directors that we created these things years back and then we're trying to benefit just what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
The only problem is that in certain areas, that it could turn around and give us more problems in the neighborhood. And we aren't looking to do that either. So it makes it a little bit more difficult for us. Versus you coming to us and saying, you know what, I've got a 15-unit development, I'm gonna put in 30 spaces, you know, parking spaces for it and stuff, and we don't have to worry about any of this. But then we turn around and say, you know what, I'm gonna turn around and put it in the CT zone. Now, the only reason I know about it is because the director and I had these discussions. In the CT zone, you're not required to put any parking. So then it just turns around and it kind of ties our hands that to approve something and then have somebody come back to us and say, well, you just gave them carte blanche to tell you to go to hell. And, you know, they're gonna do what they want and then you got no control over it. That's the difficult aspect that we have. Believe me, I've been sitting here long enough that we like to promote property owners to turn around and come in and develop their properties, but make sure that that property fits within the scope of the area. So I think that's the only cause that you're getting from us.
Yeah.
Normally, you know, we've had I think we had a property zone, farm stock tonight for Newport Avenue, and that even came with some restrictions from the neighbors in the district council there too. So, and I guess Chairman Mercer's right that, you know, you're gonna come back, you'll probably come back, but it's probably better to come back with something that you propose that you wanna put there. So that people know what's gonna happen. They feel more comfortable saying, yeah, I'm gonna prove it.
Yeah. But again, in order for me to come up with a proposal, I gotta know what, if there's a difference between an RM zone and a CT zone. So when I go to engineering.
Yep.
To my architect.
So, yes, I get that.
You know,
Yeah.
It's always gonna be under your supervision and the restrictions of what CT. you guys approve or deny. But when in order for me to come with those plans.
So we just trying to say is it falls kind of on us because we told them, before you take those steps and get plans drawn up and spend that.
It's an investment of money. Yes.
Yeah. Let's see, where we stand and if we can get the zone change ahead of time, then we can feel comfortable with him making any kind of further investment. He's actually gonna propose and.
If you get the zone change, right, if you get the approval on that, anything that you put in front of us for development, I don't know if we see it or not. Does that go to zoning by any chance? Or no, that would just go to the city, or what would that go?
If the zone is changed to CT, it would go to the planning commission only.
Okay.
Even if the zoning is not changed, wouldn't it still be considered unified development?
That was my next point. So unified development has made development a lot easier because then planning would be able to grant variances.
Okay.
But unless it's its own change, that's the only time these developments actually come to the council. It's overlay zones, which I'm sure you've done a long time.
Yeah.
And this zone has been very successful. Our predecessors worked on this and resulted in hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars in new investment in this area. So this is a smaller lot. How large is the lot again?
17.5.
17, yeah. So a lot of that size, we're not talking a large number anyway.
And when the director and I were talking, he commended you guys for coming and trying to do it right. He says, because he's indicated that we could have went right to the planning commission and didn't have to come to us. And they would have had the authority to turn around and approve it. And again, we do appreciate it, but it's not that it doesn't come with a little bit of hesitation without knowing what's going to happen there, that there could be potential problems for us going down the road. And we would one way or another have to resolve those issues.
Even though Kona Thread has essentially no parking requirement, you don't have to have parking as part of the proposal. Planning Commission still wants to see that you can accommodate on-site parking in a reasonable manner, the number of units that you're proposing. And that would mean, either surface or structure within the unit that you can get. In this area, 1-for-1 is probably fair based on the size of the units. Again, we don't know what the proposal is, but that seems reasonable. So they could put some on site, on the parking area, or structured inside the building as well. So we see that on a pretty regular basis.
So what are the major concerns again? If we were to approve this, what are other concerns? Is it parking? What else is it? Anything? What else would it be?
Frankly, that's probably one of the largest concerns, would be the parking. Things like drainage, lighting, and those kind of take care of themselves.
Yeah, usually it kind of work.
It's a fairly small lot, we're not talking.
It's an empty lot right now, right?
That's correct.
And you guys may not know that where somebody used to sell fish out of a truck for a long time, right? Is that the same lot we're talking
No,
about?
it's the one right next door.
Coming closer to downtown or going closer?
Or not close to downtown.
Was those auto parts there at one point? Yeah. Did that live down some? Yeah.
But then the property after that going towards Lonsdale Avenue is indeed a 2-family or a 3-family house, right? Is that right? Going towards Lonsdale?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right next to it. Yeah. Almost.
Almost from there to the church on the corner, right? Okay. So again, we're not opposed to it. We created the Kona Thread district for a reason, but we also stopped it where we stopped it for a reason, right? The concern is somebody buys the two multifamily houses next to you and want
Same thing.
what's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? And they want to extend the Kona Thread yet more, so we've got those concerns too. I'm not saying it's dead or wrong. I'm not saying I'm even opposed. Those are the, it gives you many more options to be in the CT rather than an RM, right? Is what you're telling us, right?
That's.
And of those options, we're just asking that you understand what our concerns from a community perspective are relative to enjoying those additional options.
Yep.
And I think you get it, and I think you understand, right? So
Totally fair.
I mean,
that's my only question.
Yeah, I know, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate Council Wildenhain, the questions too. It's just one of those things where, I don't think it's really trying to put a circle into a square peg. It seems like it makes sense to put it there. I guess we just all wish we know what the plan was ahead of time, but we don't. It is what it is, you know, so.
But you will.
We will eventually.
It's gonna be, you know.
Yeah.
All of the city's suggestions are gonna be.
Taken into consideration.
Think that's what we would ask.
Yeah.
If we're going to grant you this ability to have
Right.
far better options and flexibility, that you understand that it comes with a little bit of expectation.
Very reasonable.
Very fair.
All right, I don't know if you had any questions. Now you just came a little later. but-
Just for clarification purposes,
Sure.
what exactly is the distinction between residential multifamily and a Conan thread?
Conant Thread District has, it's an entirely different zoning district. Built around the train station. It gives far more flexibility for uses, is what it boils down to.
Mixed use as opposed
The
to.
paragraph in creating it essentially says just that, to be, I don't want to use. My term would be flexibility in uses to reuse the old mill buildings and empty lots in that area to revitalize for mixed use and residential. Whereas RM is simply that, a residential multifamily. So without this change, he'd be limited to 2-family or a 3-family, or maybe 2, depending on how big the lot is, 2-family, 3 families.
And what exactly is your intention? What are you planning on doing?
So we had a little bit of the discussion earlier, but
Yeah, I'm sorry.
no worries at all. But so what our plan was to come to you guys first to open the discussion of the zone change. We don't really have a plan of what we want to develop there, if he's even going to develop it. We were just hoping to come see if we could get the zone change and then kind of address it from that point. Like we said, it's not a square trying to fit into a.
Right.
It's right there in that district. I know we're obviously at the council's discretion, and your concerns were noted, but it's just creates a little bit more opportunity for him if he'd like to develop the property or future development.
So you want the zoning first, so then you can market it off the zoning.
And then we can.
It'd be more marketable with that type of zoning, you know?
As well, and.
Flexibility of what you
Create
build.
Flexibility,
is what it
and then at
boils
that
down to.
point, I would feel a little more comfortable advising him to spend the money on getting plans engineered and drawn up on what he's proposing to do. Because, if we weren't successful here, we would have to come up with a plan for the other districts, so rather than.
And my thought was just how far outside the Conan thread?
It's right on the line.
Right on the line.
If you were coming from your district, you go over the bridge, the Conant Street Bridge, you're at that red light. Take a right, you're going towards the ice rink. If you take a left, you're going towards Lonsdale. Take a left and it's right the next line.
You own both those lots?
They don't.
It's just, so the other lot is basically just fenced in. Is there a business or anything?
And it's,
So.
That's been vacant over years too.
It's been vacant.
That's why he's in the.
I don't, I know him, he works in that warehouse that is, coming with the neighbors that lot.
Yeah,
He just owns it. I don't really know. But, yeah. But again, everything will be done within the parameters.
Yeah.
of the cities.
okay. And I'm just happy that you heard our concerns,
Of course.
and that's really what we have to
Yeah.
address, because in the future, if need be, then we're gonna have additional discussions about what the flexibility means and how it's going to affect neighborhoods, whether that should be adjusted. So therefore, it's good to have these discussions, and also, again, like your counselor said, that you don't waste money doing it, but we also, we want you to have the flexibility to develop in the city. We've always tried to accommodate people, but we don't want to accommodate somebody at the risk of making a bigger problem for us.
Absolutely agree.
How big is the lot again, that lot?
17.5.
75.
Yeah, it runs from Whedon over to the back street, which is Center Street. At a peninsula.
Yep. Any questions, sir?
Only take like 150 yards away from the transit station.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm here because of the proximity.
Right.
If the lot was, let's say, 500 feet, towards Lonsdale or,
Right, you wouldn't be
I
doing
wouldn't be here.
Right.
Right.
It's out of the
Planning
school.
commission wouldn't have looked at it that way. We wouldn't be entertaining either. So
Exactly.
we get it.
Just one final question. You must have some idea of, perspective.
It would be a multi-unit residential.
Okay, so it's more than just
Whether
three
it's
family, I
15,
guess.
Yeah.
15, 20. Again, it's always gonna be within the parameters of planning, zoning.
Yes. And mixed use, do you expect or not? Just residential or mixed
Yeah,
use?
so most likely residential. But again, if I have a discussion with my engineer, my architect, and, they say, oh, sure.
Right, you're not gonna say no either
Yeah.
to that.
And if it's to the benefit of the neighborhood. But this is not my only property. I own, multiple properties in the city center. So, all we're trying to do is just improve it.
Right.
And improve the ecosystem that the train station has generated, right?
Yeah. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the ordinance. If you want to make the motion.
Just
A recommendation.
Yeah, I'll recommend do a motion to, yes, recommend.
We still have a public hearing.
Yeah, we have a public
So-
hearing on the thing. All right, motion made by Council Gregor, you're still involved, right? Seconded by Council President Mercer, and myself, that the ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket 1996 entitled zoning, change in official zoning map for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45, Lot 455, from residential multifamily RM to Conant Thread TT District, be recommended for approval, be put on the floor for a vote after the public hearing. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Council Moran?
Yes.
President Mercer?
Yes.
Council Gregor?
Yes.
3 in favor and none opposed.
No further business. Ordinance Committee is adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
The button here. One of those.
call to order the meeting of the committee of the whole. Clerk will call the roll.
So we have, that's us.
Playback.
We were testing the volume.
Works.
Loud enough.
It's loud enough. So President Mercer.
Here.
Councilor Rougeau.
Here.
Councilor Cordia. Councilor Gregor.
Yes.
Councilor Moran.
Here.
Councilor Moreno. Councilor Rubio. Councilor Stakoviak. Councilor Wildenhain.
Here.
We have 6 members present and we have a quorum.
We have nobody for public input, correct? How about online? In that case, Council Ruja.
Item number 2 is communication from Frank J. Milos Jr. Esquire, City Solicitor, Richard J. Goldstein, MMC, City Clerk, City of Pawtucket versus Amherst Burger Drug Corporation, case number 1-18-CD-0013-WES-LDA. Motion is to take up the communication.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Ruja, second by Councilor Moreno, that we file and take up a communication from Frank Milos, the city solicitor, to the city clerk's office regarding the city of Pawtucket versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. Case number 1-18-CV-00139-WES-LDA. Motion is to file a communication and take up the matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Frank, you were mentioning that item 3 on this is potentially for executive session, but you don't believe that it's necessary?
I don't think we need to go into executive on it.
Then it's pretty sure. Yeah, let's just do that then.
Right, so item number 3, executive session, but we're not gonna go in. City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. Case number 1-18-CB-00139-WES-LDA, Associated Pharmacies Incorporated and American Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, Morris and Dixon Company, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, United Natural Foods Incorporated, including subsidiaries, SuperValue and Advantage Logistics. Motion is to take this up.
Moved by Council Ruda, second by Council Moreno, again, that we take up a matter concerning the city of Pawtucket, Rhode Island versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al., Associated Pharmacies, Inc., and Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, Morris and Dixon Company, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, United Natural Foods Incorporated, including subsidiaries SuperValue and Advantage Logistics. Motion is to take up the matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Frank.
Okay, so members of the committee, I think this is the 5th time I've been before you since the settlement started on this, and I think this may be the last time. The 6 defendants that you just named are being referred to by the consortium as the so-called remnant defendants. So I think this is it. We're at the bottom. This is a very small payout to to pretty much all cities and towns. Just looking at the formula on this, if we opt in, which I don't see why we wouldn't, we have to opt in by May 4th. And my review of the formula on this one, this Pawtucket would realize about 28,000. So it's a small one, but we'll take it.
And as with the rest of them, must be used for opioid related purposes.
They
Yes.
have to be used exclusively for opioid abatement. That could include prevention, treatment, recovery, harm, things of that nature. If we don't opt in, we forfeit. See no reason why we would forfeit. It's only $30,000. So my recommendation would be to approve participation, and if the committee and the council does that tonight, then before this week is over, I'll be visiting with Janine Borski. We'll fill out a few forms that we have to fill out online and secure the funds. And typically, they're wired into a dedicated account. That's
So it's a restricted receipt account.
It is. Typically, I get notice when the money comes in. I speak with finance routinely just to make sure that we're all on the same page, and I've been trying to track the money as it comes in. And we still, this one again is a one and done. We have a few out there the original ones that the council approved, that was the big three distributors and Johnson and Johnson. We still have several payments over the course of the next 5, 6, 7 years that'll come in. With that. Most of the others, like Tiva and Allergen, that was one and done. Walgreens, Walmart, CVS, we're still getting payments from them. So we'll still have money coming in for the next several years from these companies. Yeah.
Besides, what's the total amount in those? I don't know if that's already been.
I can't tell you what the amount is in the account right now. I can tell you that we have taken in, if my accounting is correct, $1,124,594.18. Last payment we received was payment 5 from the big three distributors back on August 8th of 2025. On that same day, we received payment 3 from CVS. I don't have the schedule here in front of me in terms of when other payments are going to come in or what those amounts are, but we do in fact have more money coming in from those departments.
And they're all going into the same account?
Yeah.
I have a quick question, just relative to spending it on appropriate matters. Not in tonight's context, but could you perhaps give us a memo somewhere down the road about the process for that? Is it simply an administrative prerogative? Does it have to come to the council does it have to go, for that matter, to the courts for expending? You know,
It doesn't have to go to the courts, and the only time we have to account is if we go outside the parameters, which we're not supposed to, technically speaking. I mean, again, there is a process.
You mean account to the
we have to
court?
account if money is, no, not to the courts per se, but we have to account to the consortium if any money, for any reason, that falls
Other than what it's,
outside the
yes.
opioid related purposes.
So what I'm asking is also from the council perspective is, I know it's restricted in its uses, but is it administrative prerogative for the mayor's office to spend those funds so long as it's?
Yes, there's nothing in the four corners of the settlement agreements that says we need any type of legislative approval to utilize the money. Approval to bring the money into the city. And again, that's the consortium, because every city and town, and there are hundreds, if not thousands of cities and towns that are involved in stage one. Across the board, there are no issues. The administration decides, yes, we want to take advantage of the settlement. City council here in Pawtucket approves that. Money comes in. Again, I'm not aware of anything in the four corners of the settlement agreements that says we. So, in terms of spending.
And not within charter or anything else.
It's from my perspective, it's the administration's prerogative in terms of how that money is spent.
I don't disagree. I just wanted to get to the bottom of that.
Sure.
Right. I don't remember the statute on hand, but I'm almost positive that it does require the council. There's a state statute that says whatever money comes in, it's federal, whatever the source is, to get approved.
I disagree, but you can certainly send me that.
Yeah, I will. I remember just looking at that not too long ago.
Mentioned that a couple of years ago and seeing it yet. So if you want to send that.
No, I didn't mention that the last time. I was waiting for you to send me something.
A few years ago. No, I've already done research on similar issues in the past. As far as I'm concerned, it is clearly an administrative prerogative. If you're aware of something that I'm not, then by all means, you can send me.
I will. I found it recently, so I know I have.
Awesome.
Is there an expiration date on when the funds have to be expended?
No.
Okay, so we could keep,
this isn't a grant. I mean, it's a settlement.
Understood, but I didn't know if that came with a caveat, so they know that when the money is spent and we're doing it for what it's designed and purpose.
This isn't like, say, ARPA.
Right. Just wanted to be sure, that's all.
This is, we filed suit, or we had outside counsel, at the time, Eva Marie Mancuso, as local counsel, filed suit. on behalf of the consortium here for Pawtucket, and I think many other communities, probably most communities. But again, this is a settlement, like any other case that we were to pursue and settle, that money is ours.
Okay. No further questions?
Oh, no, just one thing. Could we get some sort of report on, wait, who might have came in and where it's been
Yeah, I'll
spent already?
talk to finance about that. Again, I'm only involved in the money coming in.
Michelle, would you make note of that, if and when it's appropriate, good finance, give us an accounting of what's come in and what has been spent on appropriate measures.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Move by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that what is it we approve, Frank, where we're approving the city to
Opt in.
opt in, right? Are we giving you the authority to do that, or just?
You're giving the city.
So it's been moved by Councilor Arujo, second by Councilor Moreno, that we approve the city opting in to this settlement agreement with what's referred to as the remnant defendants. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer?
Yes.
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Counselor Gregor?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
And Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
Moved by Councilor Lugo, second by Councilor Moreno, that we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.
Good evening. Welcome to our temporary council chambers on Freight Street for tonight's meeting of the Pawtucket City Council and Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. The first thing on our agenda tonight is public input. There is nobody online. However, we have one person signed up in person, Mr. Anthony Ashton from Hastings Avenue. Mr. Ashton, are you here? Come forward. Okay, I'm sorry, Mr. Anthony, just 1 second. I'm sorry. What was the pre-council? Oh, I'm sorry. Would you mind taking a seat for a second?
Of course, don't mind at all.
Sorry about
My apologies.
Take as much time as you need.
Okay, we have a pre-council appointment. Mary Ann Quinn is being appointed. Mary Ann, if you could come forward, I apologize. We're running a little bit behind today and I kind of skipped right over this. Mary Ann is being appointed to the Public Library Board of Trustees, and I believe you're a librarian, correct?
Yeah.
And you live on Hastings, which is a council. We've got a little bit of a illness problem going around with the council members. So Councilor Codere is your council member. She doesn't live far from you, but she wants me to welcome you here. If you can just give us a little bit about yourself, number one, and what clearly being a librarian is of interest to you, but why you want to join the Board of Library Trustees.
Okay, well, I worked at the Pawtucket Library when I was in high school and college many years ago. And, but that was what got me interested in being a librarian. And then, so I went to library school after college and then, worked for the state for a few years. And then I took a couple of years off when my children were young. And then I started working at the Warwick Public Library. So I ended up working there for like 33 years. So that was, my career there. And then I retired a couple of years ago, but I just always had it in the back of my mind that if a spot opened up on the Board of Trustees that I might apply for it, because I feel like it's something I know a lot about. And, I also had to deal with the trustees at the Warwick Library, from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
So I was pretty aware of what they did. So anyway, I like to be involved in things now and I have time. So that's why I applied.
Well, that benefits us because we're often looking for folks who are interested in joining boards, but they don't necessarily have expertise and interest in whatever board they're necessarily going on, so it works very well for both of us and it keeps you in the arena.
Right,
So we appreciate you stepping forward. We always like to welcome new board members and committee members down here to express that we can't do it alone. We appreciate the city can't do it alone. We appreciate when folks want to step forward and lend a helping hand. So we do appreciate it. Does anybody have any questions for Marianne?
Just wish you luck and thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate that.
Well, thank you for coming down and good luck.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now, I'm sorry. Anthony Ashton, if you could come back up. The floor is yours.
All right. So, good evening. My name is Tony Ashton. I'm a resident of Pawtucket in District 3. I've lived here for over a decade, and I'm proud to call the city my home. So this is also the first time I'm speaking in terms of politics and local politics. So, please bear with me. The reason I'm coming here today is to talk about flock safety ALPR cameras. I already discussed this briefly with the city clerk, Councilman Mercer, and with Councilwoman Rubio, who I'm sure is sick also. As you can see, I'm also sick here, so it's not lost on me that the first time I speak publicly is with a hoarse voice. So then to sort of pull this all together, on March 31st, I woke up early and was reminded of a website that tracks flock cameras where community members can put input on a map and say, there's a flock camera pointed this way, going down this street. And I noticed that a new little camera had been put up over on Armistice and Newport. So this is a corner I drive by almost every day. I live in District 3, but I live right next to Slater Park. So anytime I go into the city, I pass by it. This put a little pit in my stomach because this is obviously new to me. And my girlfriend allowed me to drive down to get Dunkin' with her. And, she's driving, I'm looking around, and I don't see it as I'm going to Dunkin', but I see it as I'm coming back. It's one story up, and it's not even the size of my forearm. It's just a little black camera. When talking to people in the community, generally speaking, nobody knows what these cameras do, where they are, and most often than not, they don't even know like what do they do. Most people think that they're speed cameras or red light cameras in some instances, but they are to read license plates. Um, honestly, it's probably a good thing that some people don't know where they are. That means they're paying attention to the road. That's good. However, I believe that the lack of transparency surrounding these cameras and flock safety, ultimately twisting the truth in marketing when they market these cameras towards communities and city councils, gives a sort of not fair judgment of what these cameras actually do. City councils that have then tried to get rid of cameras once the community finds out are often met with sidestepping through mayor's offices and police departments. And I wanted to voice my concern before anything like that would happen, and possibly getting some kind of jumpstart on even removal of these cameras. It's clear that the only studies that actually are on the efficacy of license plate reading cameras through Flock are done by Flock themselves. Flock points to their main study, which is also done by Flock CEO, I forget his name, but the person under him is the main writer of that study. So when they market this to police departments and communities, they're using their own data to then say, hey, we're really effective at what we do. This is really frustrating. It's really challenging to bring up because I'm not really familiar with Pawtucket's relationship after speaking with Councilman Mercer. This was a conversation that happened years ago. So, there are things that have changed. And, sometimes when I talk about this with my friends, I feel like I'm a schizophrenic in the way that, I talk about these cameras and say, it feels like the government's tracking your movements. And that's what these cameras do. That's, tracking who owns the car. They don't technically track who owns the car. They track the license plate, and then that gets connected to a car. But ultimately, this is a form of government for surveillance. Flock themselves claims that they do not do government surveillance, or they don't do mass surveillance. That is because their own definition of mass surveillance is that it's not constantly happening at all times. And I feel that is a indirect lie, personally, but at best, that's just a mistruth. It's a twisting of words. If the Pawtucket police won't pick up the phone when I call them, because I have called them 3 times in the past week, during the day, midday, so it's not, some off day on a weekend, or some off hour on a weekend, I really don't feel like I'm getting transparency. I don't feel like the questions I'm asking are being answered or will be answered. So I come to you today to inquire about some help. The questions I might have for the council here are things like, who asked to start the pilot program? Was the Pawtucket Police Department or the mayor's office, or did Flock approach you personally? What was the rationale behind the decision to put the cameras up for the Flock safety program? This was in regards to the pilot program itself. Is there transparency about where these cameras are located to the citizens of Pawtucket? Something, as I said earlier, is that I only found out about this last week about a camera. I feel that's kind of unfair to the Pawtucket citizens. And finally, sort of to belabor the point, the biggest point of them all, does the price of our safety for the community need to come at the perceived safety that Flock is selling us? Thank you for your time. And if you want to reach out, obviously my contact is there, and I will try my best to answer any questions. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's the only individual signed up for public input tonight, so we move right into the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I'll call a meeting to order. The clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer?
Here.
Councilor Rujo?
Here.
Councilor Kadir? Councilor Gregor?
Here.
Councilor Moran?
Here.
Councilor Moreno? Councilor Rubio? Councilor Stakoviak? Councilor Wildenhain?
Here.
We have 6 members present and we have a quorum.
Mr. President, I call for approval of the previous minutes from March 25th, 2026.
The move by Council Ruzo, second by Council Wildenhain, that approval be given to the minutes from the March 25th, 2026 meeting as prepared by the clerk. Are there any amendments, concerns, adjustments, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Mr. President, before I take item number 2, I'd like to amend the agenda to include a following communication.
It's been moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moran, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a communication. Any discussion on amending the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
I'd
Hang on a
like-
second.
My motion is to file a communication by Maddie Whedon regarding a dog kennel.
Been moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moran and Councilor Gregor, that we file a communication from an individual named Maddie Whedon regarding a neighboring dog kennel in the on Vale Street. Vale Street?
Vale Street, no.
Patterson, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All in favor of filing a communication?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We can't talk about that communication, but did you just want to second that? Yes. Okay.
Yeah. Great, okay.
Sorry.
I call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda, item number 3, communications, and item number 4, petitions for licenses, starting with entertainment, which is, first one is petition of Jared Pearson for a license to have a water lantern festival at Slater Park, all the way to the last page, which would be pawn shop renewal from Fast Cash Pawn and Check Cashes of 846 Newport Avenue.
Been moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to items 2, 3, and 4, the consent agenda, communications, and petitions for licenses, starting with an entertainment petition of Jared Pearson for a license to have a water lantern festival in Slater Memorial Park, down through page 2, 3, and to the bottom of page 4, ending with pawn shop renewal for Fast Cash Pawn and Check Cashes on Newport Avenue. Is there any discussion or any matters the members wish to take up? Counselor. Just turn your mic on, please.
So, again, item 4, petition for licenses. I wanted to address a couple of things to pull out. The kennel renewal for Harmony Dog Training LLC, 65 Patterson Avenue, license number KNL.
Yeah, that's the bottom of page 4, yes?
Page
page 1, I'm sorry, yep,
Yeah.
bottom of page 1, yep.
License number again, KNL-25-2. I want to do a motion to postpone the renewal in light of some more recent communications, as pointed out earlier on number 3 that from Kiki Witsi and Maddie Whedon regarding these are neighboring folks who reside right at the border of the kennel location 65 Patterson Avenue.
Okay. Did you have one other license that you wanted to address too at the same time? Or did you not?
Yes, no, that's the first item. There's another item.
Yeah, but we're gonna deal with this all at once, so we'll take those couple off and then we'll.
Oh, okay. Tiki's Auto Sales Annex, page 2 at the bottom.
Yep,
License
license number
number.
2468, yep.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it. Yep.
Okay, so with the exception of those 2, any other items? In that case, with the exception of those 2, Harmony Dog Cafe, Harmony Dog Training, and Tiki Auto Sales Annex, all in favor of the motion to approve?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. Now we'll take these other 2 separately. Harmony Dog Cafe, 65 Patterson Avenue, license number KNL-25-2. What is your motion, Counselor?
To postpone the license renewal,
to the next meeting or?
Because my understanding is the license is not expiring till sometime in June, so, by mid-May.
Second meeting of
Second
May?
meeting in May.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that budget night?
Yes.
Can we do the first meeting of May?
Yeah, I guess we could do that.
Okay, so the motion, I think it was seconded by Counselor Moreno, that we postpone action on this renewal of this license until the first meeting in May. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. And Tiki's Auto Sales.
Yep, so now, page 2, Tiki's Auto Sale again, annex, license number AUT-24-68. Those the auto sales of place automobile repair has a stipulation on it regarding not doing repairs in front of the building, the shop. No debris in the back. All work must be done inside the building. All vehicles in the front are for sale only. So I drove past there, and that is clearly not the case. They're fixing cars out front, but the whole lot's full of cars. That don't even look like they're being sold or anything like that. So, I just motion for them to come in.
Would you like to postpone this renewal and have them called in for an informal hearing?
Yes.
Michelle, that works? For the next meeting, yes? So the motion is to delay the renewal of license number AUT-24-6 at least till the first meeting of May, and to have the applicant come in, the license holders to come in for an informal hearing regarding failure to adhere to multiple stipulations on the license. That work for you, Counselor?
It does.
And that was seconded by Counselor Moreno. Any discussion on that motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Okay, no further business coming, put up Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I motion that we adjourn and reconvene as a Pawtucket City Council.
It's moved by Counselor Ruzo, second by Counselor Moran, that we adjourn as Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners and we convene as Pawtucket City Council. Before we do, I ask that everyone stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, started by Counselor Moran.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. President, can you just make the announcement to the license holders? For me?
Yes.
Sorry.
If there's anybody here who was on the list of license approvals or license renewals, other than Tiki's and the dog kennel, you are all set. You're free to go. Little Caesars would have been on there. Yep, you're good to go. Where is that? Central Avenue? No, Lonsdale Avenue, right? Yep. You are good to go.
Approved.
Unless you want to bring us a pizza.
Pizza.
Or a pizza.
Pizza.
Well, just wanted to introduce myself. We're actually just taking over the existing business.
Yep.
So, it's nothing really like anything new or anything that we're gonna do, anything brand new to anything. So we already have all the licensing in place and the zoning. I spoke with a young lady, her name is Ivana.
Yep.
City clerk, she helped me a lot. I just wanted to let everybody know you guys have been very helpful. Thank you very much.
Well, it's good to hear.
Good luck.
Good luck.
In an email or see the city clerk and she'll
Yeah.
tell you what you.
Yep, Ivona will be in touch with you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right.
We're all set. Good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Ivana would like the fact you called her young. She would like.
You know what's funny is that I didn't even see her in person.
We won't tell her that part.
She sounded young.
Sounded young on the phone.
Nice.
We all sound young.
Okay. Pawtucket City Council will come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Counselor Rougeau.
Yeah.
Counselor Codere, Counselor Gregor. Counselor Moran,
Here.
Counselor Moreno. Counselor Rubio, Counselor Stakoviak, Counselor Wildenhain.
Here.
We have 6 members present and we have a quorum.
As advertised for a public hearing, the public hearing regarding an ordinance, an amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning change an official zoning map for 264 Whedon Street, AP 45L 455, from residential multifamily RM to Conant Thread CT District. My motion is to convene this public hearing.
Been moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Moran, that we convene a public hearing regarding an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, change an official zoning map for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45, Lot 455, from residential multifamily to Conant Thread District. Motion to convene a public hearing, declare the public hearing open. Counselor, how are you?
Doing well. Good evening.
So this is a public hearing on the ordinance that, the zoning change ordinance we just heard in the ordinance committee. And actually, all 6 members happen to attend, so we've heard it, but the folks at home have not, and the folks in the audience have not. So if you could just briefly tell us what what you're pursuing.
Yes.
What your client is pursuing, and for what purposes.
I certainly will. Again, good evening, Mr. President, members of the committee, or excuse me, the council. For the record, I'm Attorney Jake D'Amico. I represent the applicant YPR Properties LLC in connection with this petition for the rezone at 264 Whedon Street. We're requesting a zoning map amendment to change the subject property from a residential multifamily and RM district to a Conant Thread CT district. This matter has already been reviewed by the Planning Commission, which issued a positive recommendation, finding that the proposed amendment is generally consistent with the city's comprehensive plan and appropriate given the surrounding land use patterns. The subject property is currently a vacant and underutilized parcel located directly adjacent to the Conant Thread district. The requested rezoning represents a modest extension of that existing district along this corridor. The surrounding area already reflects a mixed residential, commercial, and redevelopment activity. This proposal aligns with that existing pattern and supports the city's broader planning goals, including encouraging investment or reinvestment, promoting economic activity, and facilitating development in areas with access to the infrastructure, the transit infrastructure. Importantly, this is not a drastic change in character, but rather a continuation of what is already taking place in the immediate area. We understand the importance of maintaining neighborhood compatibility, and based on the Planning Commission's findings and the location of this parcel, we believe this amendment strikes the right balance between responsible development and consistency with the existing neighborhood. For those reasons, we respectfully request that the council adopt the proposed amendment, and we're happy to answer any questions. The owner of the LLC is also here with me tonight.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? I will, before we open up to anybody else, I'll just reiterate what it was we discussed in committee. That, you know, essentially, this change in zoning gives your client greater flexibility in what to do with that, but it still has to conform with what's allowed in the Conant Thread District.
Certainly.
Which we established in about 2017 or so, in advance of the construction of the rail station, in what we call the TOD, the transit oriented district, right? So you'll be responsible for abiding by what's allowed in that zoning if this is approved, correct?
Correct.
All right. And you also heard from the council members about some of their concerns about expanding it, even though it might just be, you know, a few hundred feet, expanding it into a residential neighborhood, especially relative to parking, right? And that when you decide, when your client decides what it is he is going to do with that property in the new zone, that is at the forefront of what you're planning. And I can see your client nodding. He understands exactly what we're saying, and we appreciate his agreement with that. So, Councilor Wildenhain.
Yes, thank you, Council President. Shut that thing off. I hate that thing. I just wanted to urge your client to, as we progress in this procedure, reach out to the district councilman over there and keep her informed of what you intend on doing. I think you'll get some free advice and steer you into the right direction. That'll work for both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just note that the Planning Commission approved recommended approval of this 7-0. Yes? Is that correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you. Attorney D'Amico, I'll have you take a seat for the moment. Is there anybody here tonight in person who was here for this public hearing to speak on this zone change? I see no one. Is there anyone online?
If anybody's currently waiting online to speak in this public hearing, can you please press the raise hand button at this time? And I see no hands being raised.
In that case, I am going to declare the public hearing closed. It is not on our agenda until later in the night, but the hearing now has been completed. Okay? Councilor Rujo.
Item number 1, I call for approval of the previous minutes of March 25th, 2026 for the Snow Removal Committee, the Finance Committee, the Ordinance Committee, and the City Council.
Second.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that approval be given to the minutes of the March 25th meeting of the Snow Removal Committee, the Finance Committee, the Ordinance Committee, and the City Council, all as prepared by the clerk. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Mr. President, I'd like to move to amend the agenda to include a communication.
It's been moved by Councilor Rujo, Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Moran, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a communication. All in favor of amending the agenda? Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
I move to file a communication from Kyle Johnson, Director of Zoning and Code Enforcement, to the honorable members of the City Council regarding rodent abatement program.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Wildenhain, that we introduce and file a communication from the zoning director, Carl Johnson, regarding rodent abatement. Is there any discussion on filing the communication? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Hang on just 1 second.
Sure.
Mike, do you have something you?
I have something to introduce. I didn't know if you wanted to do it at the same time while the agenda's been amended, or if you wanted to take it separately under amending the agenda again.
Let's do that now then.
Okay.
So it's been moved by Councilor Wildenhain, second by Councilor Gregor, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing a communication. Is there any discussion on amending the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Now the communication is?
Mr. President, I want to move the agenda, to amend the agenda to include the following communication from Robert Burns, the tax assessor, the Honorable Mark J. Wildenhain. I don't know how he came up with that. Chairman of Finance Committee, a tax stabilization request for Rise Above All Properties LLC at 258 Pine Street, AP 53L567 and 568. I'd like to move to have this communication read and ordered, filed, and referred to the Finance Committee.
Second. Moved by Councilor Rujo, Councilor Wildenhain, second by Councilor Rujo, that we have amended the agenda for the purpose of introducing and filing and referring to finance a letter from Robert Burns, the tax assessor, to Finance Chair Wildenhain regarding a 20-year tax stabilization for a proposed 198-unit residential apartment building to be constructed at 258 Pine Street. It says read in order. Do we need to read the entire?
No, they'll read it.
Okay, and in that case,
They've already.
all in favor of filing and referring to finance? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, now the item 2.
All right, I call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda and correspondence.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moreno, that we approve be given to item 2, the consent agenda and correspondence. Are there any items the members would like to address separately? Councilor Gregor. Okay, is there anybody else? And I am going to very briefly touch on item F. Okay, Councilor Gregor. Item E. I'm sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Councilor Gregor, item E.
Item E is a communication from Jordan Colleague Blackstone Distribution Center LLC to the honorable members of Pawtucket City Council regarding 1 Moshasek Street, Q1 2026 construction update. I'm looking at on a few things, so I'd like to postpone this to probably the next meeting. So, because I'd like to respond to that.
Okay, all in favor of postponing item E to the next meeting, first meeting in the next meeting is the second meeting of.
The second meeting in April, right? Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Um,
And item.
why don't you take I and J together and then I'll go to F.
Okay, sure. Item I and J are communications from myself to the council president and members of the Pawtucket City Council, as well as Chief Trenso from the Pawtucket Fire Department. And this is in regards to proposed amendments to the proposed outdoor burning and cooking ordinance that's on the agenda for today for second passage. I just, after speaking to committee chair David Moran and council president, I'm moving to have this matter sent back to the ordinance committee for further review.
Is that it?
That's it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Very briefly, item F is a communication from the superintendent of schools, Randy A. Buck, to the honorable members to the mayor and the honorable members of the city of Pawtucket regarding a Q3 reporting update on the $500,000 city grant that we put into the budget this past year. And it came with it was not a maintenance of effort. It was a $500,000. We've used the word grant. You can use whatever term you want, but it was $500,000 that was not necessarily going to be built into the budget the following year. And it came with some reporting requirements. And I just want to thank the superintendent for the communication and for the thoughtful process that he's undergone in utilizing that $500,000. Because it wasn't to be a maintenance of effort, $500,000 that was guaranteed to be again in this year's upcoming budget. It makes very good fiscal and frugal sense to utilize it for one-time expenses, not put it in for salaries and things of that nature. And he's done a very thoughtful, engaged in a very thoughtful process in doing this for school furniture, cell phone pouches. You know, the schools are trying to combat cell phone usage all over the place in classrooms and during tests and all the rest. Attendance incentives, public address system. So it's very encouraging that that the superintendent understood the message about the grant, and is doing a conscientious job. So I appreciate the letter and I appreciate the effort. I think we all do.
Absolutely.
Okay, we're on to item 3.
Okay. Item 3 is a communication from Matthew Braga, Sergeant, Pawtucket Police Department, to Tina Gonzalez, Chief, Pawtucket Police Department. Coastal collision failure to comply with the city's towing policy, to set a formal hearing at the May 6, 2026 City Council meeting. My motion is to file this communication and approve setting that formal hearing.
Moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Moreno, that a communication from Matthew Braga, the Sergeant of the Pawtucket Police Department, to Tina Gonzalez, Chief of the Pawtucket Police Department, regarding coastal collisions failure to comply with the city's towing policy, and to set a formal hearing on that matter at the May 6, 2026 council meeting. The motion is to file a communication and to set the formal hearing in accordance with the tow ordinance from May 6, 2026. Is there any discussion on the motion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We don't need a roll call there, do we?
Item number 4 is a communication from His Honor Mayor Donald R. Grebian to the honorable members of the Pawtucket City Council, submitting the following ointment as a member of the public library board of trustees for confirmation. Harry Ann Quinn of 29 Home Street for a term expiring the first Monday in January 2029. I move for approval on a roll call vote.
Second.
Been moved by Councilor Moreno, second by Councilor Rujo, that a communication from His Honor Mayor Donald R. Grevian to the honorable members of Pawtucket City Council submitting the following appointment as a member of the Pawtucket Library Board of Trustees. Mary Ann Quinn, 29 Homestead Street, for a term that expires the first Monday in January of 2029. The motion is for confirmation on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer?
Yes.
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Counselor Gregor? Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno? Counselor Wildenhain? 6 in favor and none opposed.
Motion carries. You're all set. Welcome aboard.
Congratulations and thank you.
Number 5 is a communication from Frank J. Milos, Esquire, City Solicitor, to Richard Goldstein, MMC, City Clerk, City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. Case 118-CV-00139-WES-LVA. Associated Pharmacies, Inc. and American Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation. Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company, Inc., Morris and Dixon Company, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company, Inc., United Natural Foods, Inc., including subsidiaries, Super Value, and Advantage Logistics. We talked about this in the other room for the Committee of the Whole. I guess the motion would be to accept we discussed, I guess, the settlement amount. I didn't write down the specific amount. I don't know if we have to list that or not.
I don't believe we do.
Okay, but just the motion would be to approve and accept the settlement that was discussed at the Committee of the Whole.
It's been moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Rujo and Councilor Gregor. And that a communication from Frank J. Milos, Esquire, the City Solicitor, to Richard J. Goldstein, MMC, the City Clerk, regarding the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island versus AmerisourceBergen Drug Corporation et al. Associated Pharmacies, Inc. and Associated Pharmacies, J.M. Smith Corporation, Louisiana Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, Morris and Dixon Company, North Carolina Mutual Wholesale Drug Company Incorporated, United Natural Foods Incorporated, including subsidiaries Super Value and Advantage Logistics. The motion and the recommendation from the Ordinance Committee is to approve the city entering into this settlement. One of a number of settlements we've entered into regarding the ongoing opioid crisis. And it's slightly less than $30,000 total. We're winding down on these. And the motion is to approve the city entering into that settlement, or opting into the settlement, I guess was the term. Is there any discussion on this matter? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer?
Yes.
Counselor Ruzo?
Yes.
Counselor Gregor? Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
Counselor Wildenhain?
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
Item number 6, the City Property Committee submits the following resolution with a recommendation for approval. Resolution authorizing the City of Pawtucket to enter into a purchase and sales agreement for the former James A. Ryan VFW Post number 33 in an amount not to exceed $165,000 for the property located at 142 South Bend Street, AP 24 L 599 and 0 Division Street, AP 24 L 608. Motion to approve on a roll call vote.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, seconded by Councilor Moreno, that the City Property Committee submits the following resolution with a recommendation for approval. It's a resolution authorizing the City of Pawtucket to enter into a purchase and sales agreement for the former James A. W. Ryan VFW post number 33 in an amount not to exceed $165,000 for the property located at 142 South Bend Street, Assessors Plat 24, Lot 599, and 0 Division Street, unless Assessors Plat 24, Lot 608. The recommendation from the property committee is for approval on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Counselor?
And President Mercer, I wanted you to make your comments that you've made to me about it so that people clearly understand what the true amount is and what effect it will have.
So the appraised amount is considerably more than 165. It's closer to $200,000. And this is to enter into a purchase and sale agreement for no more than $165,000. I think that will be the amount. It's to purchase the VFW post at the corner of South Bend and Division Street. It will be then conveyed into the lot containing the high school. It will be used for that purpose to ease a whole lot of aspects of the new high school. With that is the ability to recoup the purchase price and any construction and demolition, everything but closing costs. So the majority of that $165,000, if that's the final sales price, about 90 to 92 cents on the dollar will be reimbursed by RIDE. So it's while it's not an absolute necessity according to the architects and the folks building the school, it is certainly makes it a much better, much more attractive parcel. So it's the building and the small parking lot behind it. You wouldn't think so, but they're two separate lots. That's it in a nutshell. Is that what you were
Thank you,
looking for,
President Mercer. I
Counselor?
appreciate it. Yes, especially as Chairman of Finance, to know that we're going to spend money and then we're going to get most of it reimbursed back. It's appreciated.
And if I may, it's always advantageous to, they ran a good business, but to have a liquor establishment of right on the corner of a lot where a new high school would be, it makes sense that if this is available and we have something positive for that area to enlarge that lot and get the reimbursement, it also takes away a liquor establishment that's parked right on the corner of that school area. So it's always kind of a safety thing too.
And, I grew up one block from there. It's been there for as long as I've been around. But they have not ceased to exist. They've moved, I think, into District 1 over by where Badger's Pub used to be.
Oh, really? Okay. Oh, that's where they're moving to?
They've moved there. So fortunately as well, the VFW has not ceased to exist, which is
Good.
another plus. Did we call a roll on that?
No.
Clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Counselor Rougeau.
Yes.
Counselor Gregor. Counselor Moran.
Yes.
Counselor Moreno. Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
5 in favor and 1 opposed.
Mr. President, before I take number 7, I'd like to make a motion to move to amend the agenda to include an ordinance that I have in front of me here.
Moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Rougeau, that we amend the agenda for the purpose of introducing an ordinance. Any discussion on amending the agenda? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now the ordinance.
Yes, I'm going to move to have the following ordinance, an amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning. Article 4 entitled Flood Hazard District be laid on the table and referred to the ordinance committee and set a public hearing for May 6th.
It's been moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Rougeau, that we file an ordinance, an amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning. It's Article 4 entitled Flood Hazard District. The motion is to file, lay on a table, and refer to ordinance for a public hearing set for May 6th. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Number 7, an ordinance and amendment of chapter 210 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Fire Prevention Code Outdoor Burning and Cooking for second passage. My motion is to postpone this and refer it back to the ordinance committee for further review and study.
It's been moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Gregor, that an ordinance and amendment of chapter 210 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled Fire Prevention Code regarding outdoor burning and cooking which was on the agenda for second passage, be recommitted to the ordinance committee. Is there any discussion on recommitting? Is that just a voice vote?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion
No.
carried. No?
Yeah. Number 8.
Motion still carries.
Yes, it does. Number 8, an ordinance and amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 comprehensive plan, 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015 for second passage. Motion to approve on a roll call vote.
So moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Moreno, that an ordinance amendment of chapter 3124 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pawtucket, Rhode Island, 1996, amending the 2017 comprehensive plan regarding 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015. This is second passage on a roll call vote. Any discussion? Clerk will call a roll.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Counselor Rougeau,
Yes.
Counselor Gregor,
Yes.
Counselor Moran,
Yes.
Counselor Moreno, Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
Number 9, an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, amendment to the zoning map from residential single-family RS to commercial general CG zoning district, 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015, as amended for second passage. Motion to approve on a roll call vote.
Been moved by Councilor Rougeau, second by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Gregor, that an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinance of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, amendment to the zoning map from residential single-family RS to commercial general CG zoning for 10 Newport Avenue, Assessors Plat 40, Lot 1015, as amended for second passage. The motion is for second passage on a roll call vote. Any discussion? All, clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Counselor Rougeau,
Yes.
Counselor Gregor,
Yes.
Counselor Moran,
Yes.
Counselor Moreno, Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
Number 10, the Ordinance Committee returns the following: in an ordinance and amendment of Chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, change in official zoning map for 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45, Lot 455, from residential multifamily RM to Conant Thread CT District for first passage. Motion is to approve on a roll call vote.
Moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Rougeau. The Ordinance Committee returns the following with the recommendation for approval as an ordinance and amendment of chapter 410 of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Pawtucket, 1996, entitled zoning, change in official zoning map from 264 Whedon Street, Assessors Plat 45, Lot 455, from residential multifamily to the Conant Thread District. The motion is for approval on first passage on a roll call vote. Any discussion?
Just want to add in, I know we've sort of vetted it out already earlier this evening, but I think we did a great job in doing that. The president asked a lot of good questions, as well as Council Wildenhain. Again, I think we vetted out as much as we could. It's unanimously approved by the Planning Commission, so they approved the request, and the applicant also, I mean, it's something that I think that they need, even though they're not sure what they want to do with the property. It could be a mixed use or just residential, but it's right near, it's right on the borderline there where the train station is and stuff. So it kind of makes sense that we allow this and let the applicant do what he needs to do. And again, it allows him to be more flexible in trying to either build up that property or sell it to somebody else. So I just think it makes sense for the city.
Agreed. Anyone else? Again, this is first passage on a roll call vote. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Counselor Rougeau,
Yes.
Counselor Gregor, Counselor Moran,
Yes.
Counselor Moreno, Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
Item number 11, the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits returns the following claims for damages against the city. The following claim was recommitted back to the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits for reconsideration and is again taken up. The motion, I will make a motion to deny the claim of Janine Smith in the amount of $144.87. Motion is to deny on a roll call vote.
It's been moved by Councilor Rougeau, second by Councilor Moreno, that the following claim was recommitted back to the Claims Committee for reconsideration is again taken up. It's a It's a claim for $144.87 from Janine Smith regarding a tow. The motion is to deny on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Yes to deny.
Counselor Rougeau,
Yes.
Counselor Gregor,
Yes.
Counselor Moran,
Yes.
Counselor Moreno, Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed to deny.
Property damage claim Frederick Niles in the amount of $1,789.82 or $2,671.83 property damage. My motion is to deny and refer to Vinagro Construction.
Property damage claim of Frederick Niles in the amounts of $1,789.82 or $2,671.83 for property damage be denied and referred to Vinagro Corporation. Any discussion on the denial and the referral? Clerk will call the roll. Yes is to deny and refer.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Counselor Rougeau,
Yes.
Counselor Gregor, Counselor Moran,
Yes.
Counselor Moreno,
Yes.
Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
The following vehicle claims other cities. Laura Cherizi for $232.62 for a pothole. My motion would be to deny and refer the Providence, and for Susan Hoyle in the amount of $477.58 vehicle damage. Motion would be deny and refer to the city of Central Falls. Can I do that in one motion? Okay, so motion to
Yep.
deny and refer both.
Okay, I got it. Moved by Councilor Rougeau, second by Councilor Moreno, that two claims, one from Lori Shariza in the amount of $232.62 for a pothole be denied and referred to the city of Providence, and one from Suzanne Hoyle in the amount of $477.51 for vehicle damage be referred to the city of, denied and referred to the city of Central Falls. Any discussion on that? If you're going to vote differently on either, then let it be known. Otherwise, a yes vote to deny both and refer as articulated.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Counselor Rougeau,
Yes.
Counselor Gregor,
Yes.
Counselor Moran,
Yes.
Counselor Moreno,
Yes.
Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed to deny both and refer to the appropriate cities.
The following pothole claims were state roads. Patricia Barros in the amount of $1,507.51 for a pothole. Howard James Baskin, $269 for a pothole. Ernest Zaya, $453.92 for a pothole. Diana Farino, in amount of $414.45 for a pothole. And Richard Grady, $198.38 for a pothole. I will make a motion to deny all of these and refer to the Rhode Island Department of Transportation.
Moved by Councilor Rougeau, seconded by Councilor Moreno, that 5 claims for potholes be denied and referred to the Rhode Island Department of Transportation. Those 5 are Patricia Barros in the amount of $1,507.51. Howard James Baskins in the amount of $269 even. Ernest Zaya in the amount of $453.92. Diana Farino, $414.45, and Richard Grady, $198.38. Again, a yes vote is to deny and refer to RIDOT.
President
Look,
Mercer?
Yes. Yes.
Counselor Rougeau?
Yes.
Counselor Gregor?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno? Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed to deny and refer to DOT.
Pothole claims for city roads. Rachel Day Moda in the amount of $590.29. My motion would be to deny.
Moved by Councilor Rougeau, second by Councilor Moreno, that a claim by Rachel Demoda in the amount of $590.29 for a pothole be denied. Is there any discussion on the motion to deny? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer?
Yes to deny.
Counselor Rougeau?
Yes.
Counselor Gregor?
Yes.
Counselor Moran?
Yes.
Counselor Moreno?
Yes.
Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed to deny.
The following claims were, I'm gonna make a motion to approve. Wendy Allard in the amount of $300. Jody Carullo in the amount of $300. Patrick Kastner in the amount of $173.25. Michael Pate in the amount of $300. Maria Sokovla in the amount of $267.05. Jehona Tahate in the amount of $300. And Keely Taylor in the amount of $294.94. Again, my motion is to approve all these at set amounts.
So moved by Council Ruzo, second by Council Moreno, that approval be given to following 7 pothole claims on city roads in the following amounts. Wendy Allard, the amount of $300. Jody Carullo, the amount of $300. Patrick Kastner, in the amount of $173.25. Michael Pate, the amount of $300. Maria Sokolova, the amount of $267.05. Johanna Tahate, in the amount of $369.98. I'm sorry, $300 for that. And Keely Taylor in the amount of $294.94. The motion is for approval on those amounts. Any discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Yes to all.
Counselor Ruzo.
Yes.
Counselor Gregor. Counselor Moran.
Yes.
Counselor Moreno. Counselor Wildenhain.
Yes.
6 in favor and none opposed.
Did you have something? No. Before we adjourn?
We haven't received any, like status report on the flock cameras. So I would just like to do a motion if we could, have the chief send us a status update on the utility of the flock cameras and the continued use.
I don't know that we can entertain a motion on that. It's not on our agenda.
So,
You can ask the clerk's office to ask for that yourself if you want, but it's not on our agenda. We can't take any action on something that's not on the agenda.
okay. All right, I'll do that then. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. Did you have something else, or?
I wanted to adjourn to the memory of somebody, but I don't know.
Yeah, so, unfortunately, we have a few folks we'd like to adjourn in memory of tonight. The first is the brother of Richard Goldstein, the city clerk. His name is David Goldstein. He passed away early this morning. He was a former policy director for the city of Pawtucket and previously served under Lieutenant Governor Richard Leach before going on to start his own computer business. But he's Pawtucket through and through, a strong advocate for the Pawtucket, the Blackstone Valley and the city of Pawtucket as a whole. I know his brother is going through a tough time right now, and we wish him the best, and we applaud David Goldstein for his efforts in this city on behalf of this city. And Councilor Rubio's grandfather, unfortunately, passed away this morning as well. Marcelino Geraldo. He was a loving patriarch of the Geraldo family, known for sharing, strong family values. We see that in the rich Colombian heritage. He will be deeply missed. I know that family is friendly with our deputy clerk. So it was a sad day today. Did you have someone else as well, Councilor?
Yeah, just recently, Dawn Orlando passed away, lives on Rice Street, a few streets from where I live. And she was a teacher for many, many years over at Curtis School down the street, and certainly well loved by the children over there, and just really advocate for the kids and education. So she'll be sadly and sorely missed as well.
So no further ado, we will stand.
I got one more.
Sorry.
If you don't mind,
Counselor.
Council President.
It's been a tough week.
Yeah, a former police officer for the city of Pawtucket, Tom Calabro, he passed away. The mayor recognized him for his 34 years of service a few weeks ago, and unfortunately he passed and will be memorialized at the Veterans Cemetery on the 11th of April. So, but I wanted to turn around at least send our condolences to his family on his passing.
We will keep Officer Calabro in our thoughts as well. If you'll join us in a moment of silence.
We are adjourned. Thank you all.